Big questions in the soccer world, and guess what? We've got answers. Canadian goalkeeping legend Craig Forrest joins the show as we put him on the spot in a game of fair or foul. Is the Club World Cup worth the hype? We also hear from Jonathan David on what it will mean for him to captain Canada at the Gold Cup. And later, rising star Holly Ward stops by to talk NSL. All right, welcome to Just Soccer. Andi Petrillo with Craig Forrest. It's a wild time in soccer, my friend. We were just discussing this Club World Cup, Gold Cup, plus league games are still being played as well between NSL, MLS, NWSL, CPL. But let's run through the headlines, shall we? With a game we call fair or foul. You ready to play?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, fair means you're all in. Foul means you're not buying it. So let's begin with the FIFA Club World Cup. The new 32-team Club World Cup is happening this summer in the US. It's a massive expansion. Giants like Real Madrid, Bayern, they're Bayern Munich, they're all in it. Others now in the mix. FIFA is branding it as the world's biggest club tournament, but critics say it's diluting an already packed schedule. So with the Club World Cup, is it fair or is it foul?
I'm going to say fair. I think we haven't seen the format before, and there's obviously some elements of it that, some weaker opposition, whatever. But honestly, it's when I look at the clubs in it that would never normally play against each other, I've been very excited about the Club World Cup.
Okay.
I just think there's no history for it in this format, and this is one of the reasons. But as the years go by, I think it'll grab on. Is it a busy schedule? Yes, there's not enough days in the year to fit in all this football.
And you know what? I love that you're willing to give it a try because it is something new. Obviously, ticket sales were a big thing, as in they weren't really selling, but they did get a good crowd in that first game. So it remains to be seen, I guess is what we're saying too, right? About the expansion and the hype around it. When it comes to the Gold Cup, we wonder if there's some trouble brewing for the United States men's national team. They haven't really been winning either, Craig. Christian Pulisic, as we know, is skipping the Gold Cup to rest after a long season. Not everyone's on board with that. By the way, we did have Sasha Kleiston on our last show where he's like, I get it, why guys want to rest. But then he also said Gold Cup is important. But here's the thing, U.S. legend Landon Donovan says if Christian wants to be the leader, he should be there. And now coach Mauricio Pochettino is pushing back too, saying, I'm not a mannequin. Players need to follow the plan, not dictate it. Oh boy. So Craig, with stars opting out and the coach demanding control, is it fair or foul to say there's a leadership problem at the heart of the United States men's national team?
Oh, I say that's fair. There is a leadership problem.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay, what was your reactions, or what was your reaction when you found out Pulisic wasn't going to be there?
Well, first of all, we don't know. I wasn't sure why he wasn't there. I mean, there could be a very good reason why he's not there. It doesn't seem to be more than just wanting rest. For me, if it's my squad of players and I'm a player in that team, I want to see him, even if he's not going to play. Be part of it. Get in there. Be part of the team. You're 1 year away from the World Cup. Are you with us or are you not? And I think that's where they're kind of standing right now. There's a lot of infighting and a lot of talk amongst the fans as well. That right now he's not the most popular figure with the national team. Now, saying that, Andy, the Gold Cup and this team got off to a good start. Have pummeled Trinidad Tobago 5-0, I believe it was. Mostly MLS players. They have a great opportunity to prove themselves as well. So for those players, good for them. But the other ones that don't want to play a part of it, unlike Canada, where everybody and nobody wanted to have a rest or ask for a rest from Jesse Marsch, we're in a totally different ballpark and certainly a different place. And he's done a good job all around managing all that.
Do you also wonder if the recent losses heading into the Gold Cup is also what maybe made Mauricio Pochettino change his tune a little bit on some players not showing up?
Because of the losses?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, he's in a really difficult position because he doesn't seem to have the control that he wants or the buy-in from the players that he wants. It's been a very difficult task for him. And he was the manager everybody was saying they needed. He was the guy. They needed somebody with experience, and Pochettino was perfect for the job. And he's still building that team, and he's got a long way to go to build the culture within that dressing room that seems to be lacking at the moment.
All right, well, we know the Gold Cup is underway. The Canadian men's team, they're gearing up for their first match, and the roster looks strong. I actually can't wait to see either who's going to be playing alongside Jonathan David. We've been having a good debate about Daniel Jebison or Promise David. Anyways, it's been a long wait for a trophy, and maybe you can give your comment on that too. But it's been a long wait for a trophy. Canada hasn't won the Gold Cup since, do you know the year?
2000.
When you were in the net, you were the last man between the sticks, captaining that team, helping them lift a trophy. By the way, that team was honored in the Canadian Shield match, Canada versus UK. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
With the talent they've brought this year, is it fair or foul to say, and I don't want to hit the desk too hard because my computer will go flying, is it fair or foul to say this could finally be Canada's moment?
It is fair to say Canada's going to win this Gold Cup. It's going to be on the 25th anniversary. They're going to win it. Even though they're not probably favorites, I think they are. And the only reason why they're not favorites, Andy, is because the final game is going to be played, to say, against Mexico. There's going to be 70,000 Mexicans there. God bless them. They're absolutely amazing fans, and they could be the difference. But Canada, man for man, in this tournament right now, they'll never get a better chance to win it.
Okay, I like that declaration. You're saying it. Out of curiosity, who would you like to see with Jonathan David up front?
Oh, that's a good question. There's certainly players that have things to lose and to win. Kyle Larin, I still think he's probably the tipping point at the moment, but he has an awful lot to lose. Then you got Jefferson, hadn't played particularly well yet, and Promise David, who looked really good against Ukraine and offers up something a little bit different. Quite a specimen. I mean, the guy's massive, strong. Reminds me of an old guy that used to play in the Premier League, John Fashanu for Wimbledon. Very good on diagonals, good in the air, got some power, strength, and puts fear into defenders. So it's a really good problem for Jesse Marsh to have, that he's got this wealth of talent up front. Actually, wealth of talent all over the pitch, to be honest with you. Because you go right back to the other end of the pitch with goalkeepers. Who's going to be the starting goalkeeper come next summer? Is it going to be Dane Sinclair? Is it going to be Max Crepeau? Could it be somebody else pop up? I mean, Pantemis is doing really well as the other goalkeeper at Portland with Max. They're competing for a Cub position as well as an international position. He hasn't really had a look in Pantemis. So those problems are great. We're deep in all positions. We got some injuries at the moment to contain, and there's probably some when the World Cup comes around. But being 2 or 3 deep in every position has been a great problem for Jesse Marsh to have.
Well, you've been in a great mood. I think everything was fair for you. You're loving everything. The hype around the FIFA Club World Cup. You're loving the fact that Canada could be favorites here for the Gold Cup. And you're also buying that there's problems in the United States men's national team camp. Everything was fair for you.
You know what? I'm kind of enjoying that side of things. It's usually our camp that we've got problems with, right? So just a little bit I'm going with. I like the fact that they're rocking a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would disagree with you on that one. Craig, it's always great catching up with you, and of course speaking about the Gold Cup. And speaking of that, we also heard from Jonathan David on what it means to captain the team in this tournament.
I think, you know, if I'm the captain, it's because I'm doing something right. So for me, it's not to change anything really. It's to just continue to be myself and try to lead the guys the best of my capabilities. I lead well by example, you know, just working hard, doing the right things, but I think I could speak more and maybe let my voice be heard a bit more, and I think that would help.
And from Canada's captain to one of the country's rising stars, we're now joined by a player who's been lighting it up on the wing for Vancouver Rise, and by the way, with the Canadian national team as well. Holly Ward, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Well, appreciate you taking the time here on our show, Just Soccer, and you're having yourself quite the season. But I do want to talk NSL first a little bit, because now that you're in it, right, there was just a ton of hype heading into the league, and a lot of players didn't quite know how they were going to feel, or maybe like overwhelmed by emotions. But now that you're in it, how does it feel, this league, the operations, the fans, the other teams? How has it all come together?
I mean, it's been really amazing. Like from the start, like our game at BC Place to now, like the fans have been so good and so amazing. And like every time we're on the ball, they're cheering. They're like every time we score, they're standing up and shouting. And like it's such a cool environment to be able to play in. Like it's genuinely so fun. And like even going to like other people's stadium and other teams' stadiums, it's the same thing. Like it seems as the fans and like the soccer community is kind of like united for all the teams, you know, like they have their team they're cheering for, but they're like really just like cheering for the league as well. So I think that's really cool and like super special for sure.
Big talking point for a lot of Canadian players was just being able to play on Canadian soil, but then you're taking it a step further and you're actually being able to play where you're from, born and raised in Vancouver. So what does it mean to just represent the city, that you actually were raised in? And I don't know, how many tickets do you have to keep getting for family and friends?
So many, but it's honestly so cool. And I think Vancouver is like a spot in a city that's just growing, especially for like women's sports and sports in general, but I think specifically women's sports. So it's been so cool, especially for like my first professional contract, to be able to like drive to the game in my own car, and my parents are just like, all right, I'll see you there. And it's like for the past 4 years I haven't been able to do that when I was in college in Texas. So it's like it's honestly so cool. It's really fun.
How would you describe your style of play?
Um I hope that I would describe it as exciting. Like I like to like make things happen when I'm on the ball and like take risks. I love dribbling. I love kind of like doing anything I can to create like attacking chances. So like exciting, creative, fun to watch.
Was there a player that you grew up watching that, you're like, that's who I want to be like? I'm wondering if there was anyone who inspired your type of style growing up.
I mean, for me, Christine Sinclair was like, I know she was kind of everyone's idol, but for me, she was like my biggest idol ever. I actually grew up in Portland, and so I watched her play in Portland. I would go to every single game wearing a Christine Sinclair jersey, and I was like, I'm gonna be you. I want to be you so bad.
That's a nice little full circle moment, because here's the thing. You get called into the national team. It was a really big deal to see NSL players get called up, 4 in total, and then you became the first player from the league to score a goal for the national team. You also picked up an assist as well in that game. Have you had a moment to digest that?
Sort of. I've been trying to, and I think it's not just like one thing that one day you're like, oh wow, like that just happened, you know? So it's like, it's kind of takes like some time for me, and I've just been like, sometimes I think about, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that was me. Like, I can't believe I did that, and like I accomplished something I've been, trying to do since I was a kid. So I feel like I take everything like day by day, like moment by moment, and I feel like I've been able to like sit down and be like, wow, that was like a really special and like a cool moment for me. But it's kind of in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next thing as well. Like I don't want to just be stuck in that moment. I want to appreciate it and be like, that was one of the coolest things and one of like the things I'm most proud of. But that's just like what I'm now starting to do. I want to do more.
A lot of amazing players in the league, and now you've had a chance to play alongside, even against some of the most experienced pros. I'm wondering if there's anyone who's been like an influential mentor to you so far, or maybe there was a game against somebody where you're like, I can't believe I'm playing against them.
I think that's kind of like how I feel anytime I'm playing with the Canadian team. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've watched you guys for so long, like Jessie Fleming, Ashley Lawrence, Janine Sonis, like all these people I've watched since I was a kid. Like my parents have watched with me since I was a kid. So I think I said it in another interview, but I think Jessie Fleming like assisting me on my first Canadian goal was definitely like kind of a surreal moment. I was like, is this really happening? But yeah, I think that's for sure one of those moments for me.
All right. You mentioned it. The fans have been incredible supporting the league. And I'm wondering what advice you would give a 12-year-old girl watching you right now, dreaming of playing in the NSL one day, and maybe even perhaps the national team.
I mean, I think like I would just say like anything and everything's possible. You just have to like work really hard for it, and like don't take like minor setbacks and make them major setbacks. Like you can decide like what your reaction from those setbacks are going to be. So just like set your mind to something and like keep working hard at it, because like everything's possible. Like look at me, I just did it. So you can too, you know?
Love that advice. Holly, you're an absolute joy to talk to. Congratulations on so far what's happening in the NSL and, of course, the goal with the national team. Really appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with your game this week.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
And there will be more NSL action for you this week. Saturday, June 21st at 2 p.m. ET, the Ottawa Rapids take on the Calgary Wild. Also on Saturday, Toronto, they take on Halifax, 4 p.m. And you can catch Holly Ward and her Vancouver Rise on Sunday, where they'll play the Montreal Roses at 4. Before we let you go, we wanted to leave you with our viral moment of the week, and this one goes to Auckland City FC, specifically their keeper, Connor Tracy. Get this, the 28-year-old New Zealander left his warehouse job using sick days and unpaid leave to play at the 2025 Club World Cup. Now, despite a 10-0 loss to Bayern Munich, Tracy's passion just completely shines. He said, "I'll struggle with rent and bills, but playing Bayern, Benfica, and Boca, 100% worth it." Now that, my friends, is dedication. Thanks for watching. I'm Andi Petrillo, and I'll see you next week.